don't have a fancy kitchen and don't have like really cool lighting, but my goal is to make kheer. Okay, so that's what I'm trying to do, and so I'll just show you basically what you need. This is the rice. It's about a handful and a little more. I'm making it for a few more people, so it's about a handful of rice. People say 100 grams, but I don't know, 100 grams seemed a lot, and so it's a little less than 100 grams. Ideally it should be basmati rice, but I just took normal rice. This is like the Sona Masuri rice, and I'm going to make 1 liter milk. So I'll first wash this rice and then I'll put the milk in there. Okay, so rice is washed, as you can see, and I mean I don't really wash like so much as I do, because quite just like 2 washes. And then I'm going to use this milk. I usually use Amul Taza, but of late in our home we've been using Amul Gold, so might as well just use this. So I just pour it into this without spilling too much. Okay, this pan is a bit big for I think now that I look at it, but that's okay. I like a pan which has more space for stirring, so now I've put the flame on high, but just to get it boiled quickly. But if it's high, then I need to keep stirring. I'm going to use this cool stirrer occasionally, just so that it doesn't stick and doesn't burn underneath. Okay, it's been about a minute or 2 and I've already started feeling the rice stick underneath. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sim this flame. I'm just going to make it a little lower and just stir it so that there's nothing sticking on the, whatever you call it, in the pan or in the cooking vessel. And that's basically the irritating part about kheer, is you just have to stand. You can't let it be and just go somewhere else and do anything. You have to always keep stirring. Every few minutes you'll be stirring. Okay, so that's the thing about the kheer. And while the kheer is boiling, let me tell. By the way, I'm not looking at the camera. This is looking at the camera, but this is not, because I like to see my face on my selfie phone. Sorry. But anyway, so. The thing about this kheer is I remember learning it from my grandmother and my mother. And my mother has a really cool recipe for this kheer, which puts like grated coconut and some other stuff. I don't know. I actually don't remember what all my mother does, but it's really tasty. And my grandmother had a slightly more simpler version of this kheer. So it takes that, it gets the sort of the taste and the texture of what my mother makes, but along with a little bit of the simplicity of my grandmother. And but the flavor is still what we would call North Indian kheer. It's not the South Indian payasam. It's much thicker, and so there's a lot of boiling when the rice started. I should have shown you the time, but apart from the setup, which took like just a couple of minutes, just getting the rice, washing it and putting it on the stove, the whole stirring, boiling process, boiling will take 45 minutes. Now the thing is, this kheer has one simple ingredient other than the rice, and it is milkmaid. And once the rice boils, then I'm going to pour this whole can of milkmaid into it, and I won't put any more sugar. That's it. And I'll just boil it till it becomes a certain kind of thickness. Then you get it right. Okay, it started boiling, so you can see over there. Can you see? It's boiling. Now what I do is, now I'll pour the milkmaid into the thing and pour it in. Okay, so it's just a matter of pouring the whole milkmaid in, and if you don't want it too sweet, then don't put the whole can in. In fact, 3/4 of the can should be okay. But if you want it sweet, like how I like it, I really like it sweet, I just put the whole can. After the milkmaid is done, you can usually put some milk and pour it in, like put the milk in. But I like to lick the extra milkmaid, so excuse me. Okay, so here's the milkmaid. Really good. So Okay. Might as well have that. Why do you have wasted on the kheer? Okay, so now the kheer's color has turned more brown earlier. I mean more cream, not brown, but a bit more cream. And now is where the thing is to wait and wait and wait and keep stirring. Some people at this point would put some cardamom, yeah. Basically elaichi and some long. They'll put that in. I'm not that keen on it. The only ingredient I'm going to put after this is some almonds, some crushed almonds, just to reduce the sweetness. So there'll be that the almonds, which I'll show later. Okay, so basically what I'm waiting for is this thing called thickening. If you'll see over here, when I'm taking a spoon and when I pour, you see it's just dripping quite easily. And the thicken means it will not pour so easily. It will actually go drop, drop, drop. Okay, so the almonds you see over here, I've taken about this is about half a handful. Again, almonds, it depends on how much you like, whether you like them or you don't. I like almonds better than cashew nuts because somehow it's much stronger in kheer. So it helps, and the main reason is to cut the sweetness, otherwise it becomes too sweet. So yes, I like it sweet, but I also like the slightly, how do you call it, the blandness of the almonds. I like that. So now I'm going to do something which I need 2 hands for, but basically I'm not going to crush them with the thing. I'm going to use a scissor and I'm going to cut the almond pieces like that. I'm just going to cut it with this scissor. I know some may fly out here and there, but I find that's a nice way to get even sizes rather than crushing it when it becomes powder. I want pieces. It's still not done. The quantity has become much less. It's come down, and because I'm using full cream milk, which now I think is a mistake. I should not become too rich. But you'll see the consistency. It's just feeling thicker. Okay, it's starting to get ready, I think. And I'll show you how it's pouring. See? It's still not perfect yet. Okay, so let's check on it right now. It's quite thick. I'm just mixing and see how it pours. But I'm tempted to just say it's finished right now, because once it cools down it's going to thicken even more. So the question is, how thick do you want it? And if I want it a little thinner, then this should be enough. Let me just see again. Okay, so you see now that it's a bit thicker. It isn't pouring like water. So I think it's ready. Now I'm gonna just consider it ready. So now here come the almonds. There they go inside. Can you see? And mix them in. And I think that's done. So now the last thing left is to pour it in a fancy bowl and wait for it to cool. Okay, so here's my fancy bowl. As you can see, looks really cool. All these glass bowls look so cool. Okay, so now there. But now what I'm going to do is, while it's really hot, I'm going to put it in a bowl of water. Like this, to cool it. There's some water down here. And just to cool it a bit. And I need to put it in the fridge. My friends, the students, are going to come at around 8, and right now it's past 6. So I'm hoping that it doesn't stay too hot. It gets into room temperature fast. And then I'll put it in the fridge for about half an hour. So I'm a little late. I hope you can see that it's actually very easy to make it. It's just hard work of standing in one place and stirring. But to make kheer, especially this kind of kheer, is really yummy and it's not so hard. Okay, so final review. How did it go? It came out okay, but a lot of people didn't like it. It was a bit too sweet for them. And one of the main reasons was I gave it warm. I didn't let it cool enough. It needed about maybe 2-3 hours of cooling. I just put it for like 45 minutes of cooling. So that was one big fail. So people could feel the sweetness. The sweetness hit them. So yeah, next time, lighter milk and less rice, and cool it.